Welcome to Monday Night Football Season 4, episode, 46, 47?
It's on up there now. You've seen us way too much.
So, Todd, it looks like it's going to be a two-man show again. We have no Chio. What happened to Chio? Todd, you brought her on last year.
Hey, you know what? She graduated on to bigger things. She's now assistant coach down at Point University. So, shout out Skyhawks. So it looks like it's just me and you holding it down again.
But hold up. She did more episodes than Manny, right?
She did more.
Manny only did, I think, 2 episodes.
But Roy still,
I think Roy did more episodes than Manny last year as a special guest.
It was only 1 episode. It's still about, so they're tied.
All right, but hey, look, this show's a little bit different today, guys. Typically, our first show is the coaches show. We're going to actually have a mid-season coach show. That's the plan later on in a few weeks. So that'll give us a better idea of what the coaches think of their teams are. But this is just going to be a show. We're going to talk about some preseason games that happened last week and then what's upcoming this week. Todd, anything that stands out for you so far?
Yeah, I'll tell you what stands out to me. It's the freaking first episode, and you already missed the tagline.
Oh, Dad.
Welcome to Monday Night Football, where Soccer Town USA comes to you.
Well, you know what?
You probably just see the rush just falling off this guy right in front of you.
It's the first day jitters. It's the first day jitters.
I know. I'll tell you what it is. It's this level of professionalism that's been created around us and us trying to live up to it. Look, if we can become half as good as this soccer community is at what we do, we'll be flying. So, yeah, the first thing that stands out to me is this is like one of the most condensed preseasons I remember. Yes. I feel like they had 1 week of conditioning, 1 week with the ball, and now it's like a preseason game last week. And now all of a sudden, I mean, there are Soccer City Cup games this week.
Yes, we have what? Obviously we'll bring up the schedule later on, but it looks like we have tomorrow, Tuesday, we have Dalton Boys, not the girls, Dalton Boys Cahulla Creek at Creek.
Yes.
And then Creek turns around, and we discussed the scheduling last year. Creek turns around and has to play Southeast on Thursday, boys and girls. What is up with that kind of scheduling there?
Hey, Jacobo will be wilding up there at Creek. But, let's not, they're supposed to have Cass, at least on the paper schedule. It looks like they have Cass tonight. As we record, they should be on a bus to play Cass.
That is right.
3 games, first week, 2 out of the 3 games, Soccer City Cup. I don't know what Creek's doing up there. I hope y'all got plenty of energy drinks.
But we all know Jacobo. If you know Jacobo, that's how he does it. He likes to get those games in. But look, as we go on.
I just hope they got the mustard packets because they're going to be cramping real bad.
I did recommend to one of the Southeast players, Ricky Lopez. He had some cramps in his
You went mustard packets?
I told him about the mustard packets. I said, hey, take those on the field next time. I'm glad you brought that up.
Mustard packets.
Kids, if you never watched episode 1, that came from one of his doctor friends.
That's right.
Mustard packets, if you have cramps, it alleviates it and ready to go. Todd, we got a minute to go, but anything that we're looking for, what else do we want to, obviously we're going to be discussing later on this show.
So we're going to touch just a little bit like school by school as we can. I tried to touch base, we tried to touch base with all the schools last week through some frantic phone calls and that sort of thing to kind of get the schedule and see where everybody was at. I mean, there's already some early season injuries, like some season enders. We can get into that. But yeah, it's going to be wild. And even like how the games are played this year, apparently I'm hearing there's not going to be any ties this year, regardless of the game.
You got to confirm when the GHA say.
It sounds wild to us.
I hear fake news, but
it sounds wild to us, but it sounds like every game will be decided win or loser and go to PKs if necessary. And that's because of how they're doing the rankings this year.
All right.
So,
well, guys, with that, we're getting ready to go to a commercial break, but we want you to come back and stay tuned. Is this going to continue to be a 2-man show? Or do we bring a new guest on? Well, we'll commercial break and we'll let you know after this.
I'm Dr. Michelle Little.
And I'm Dr. Kayla Gibo with Foundation Direct Family Care. We wanted to start a membership-based primary care practice.
But we're doctors, not business people.
I'm Kylie Roy with Biltwell Bank. I listen to their pitch and help them scale from startup to owning their own building.
Biltwell sees the value of small businesses in the community and supports their ingenuity.
Because every business owner doesn't have an MBA, our bank is Biltwell.
Member FDIC.
Who's up for some football?
That's not football. This is football.
And Andy, there's one thing that we all can agree on.
That's it. North Georgia is the home for new and pre-owned vehicles.
And don't forget accessories, parts, service, and collision needs.
Claro que sí se puede. Come see us.
Hey!
That's our part.
Hey, and welcome back to Monday Night Football, where Soccertown USA comes to you, and we are recording at the Mac Gaston Community Center. We want to thank them for the use of this facility.
Also thank Elliott Media, Judy from Elliott Media, for continuing this program and continuing this vision. We've moved locations, but we're hopefully going to increase the quality. Hopefully we're going to be able to, us as on-air talent, increase that quality.
Speaking of on-air talent.
Yeah, I know. Did we bring... This is not this is not a mirage. This is not Manny.
I'm real.
This is not.
Yeah.
This is not Gio. This is not Roy.
Not any of those people.
But this is Todd. You brought him on, so introduce him.
All right. So this year, I thought we always like to have a third on to bring in another perspective, and plus for somebody to sit and separate Juan and I.
I'll do my best.
I would like to introduce to you Diego Alvarado. For those of you who follow soccer locally, he does a play-by-play for Dalton State. So he was doing the play-by-play streaming during that national championship run this year. So that was one of the first. That was the first time I noticed him. Was I went to a game and I heard him broadcasting, and I was really impressed. And it led me to invite him onto the show. And he's going to be hanging out with us for the rest of the season. Diego, welcome.
Oh my goodness! I cannot believe that I am here as the third man on Monday Night Football. You know, you mentioned.
Is this just what your dreams are made of?
Brother, so, I started narrating and commentating for the Dalton State soccer team, right? Because when I was little, as a Hispanic, you grew up watching Fútbol Picante, you grew up watching Sábado Gigante, you grew up watching all that good stuff, and you're like, you know what? Like, I would love to do that, but I've never played soccer in my life, ever. I have a back injury, not that that ever got in the way, but I mean, I do. I never played soccer, and so my only connection to soccer was on the weekends, seeing my dad ref. So I'm sure y'all gave my dad some hell back in the day.
I would never. I respect referees, and never a cross word came out of my mouth towards the referee.
I may have gotten red cards, suspended 4 or 5 games.
More than likely, my dad and my brother-in-law, so they were refs for decades here, and that was my introduction to Soccer City, USA. I'm from Morelia, Michoacan, which unfortunately doesn't have a soccer team anymore.
He's from the Butterflies.
But raised in Soccertown, USA. And so thankfully, during my sophomore year of college, I got the chance to do the narrating for the Dalton State soccer team by pure luck. And then now I'm about to go into my 6th season doing the commentary. My dream, actually, you kind of brought this up, Todd, is to one day be able to actually commentate the NAIA games. Because, right now we're limited to whenever the season's going on. Because NAIA, they have their own commentators. Absolutely all power to them.
Yeah.
Maybe one day, bro.
I'll just go ahead and tell you, I've heard the NAI commentators, and I've heard this guy, and it's not even close.
I didn't know if I gave my life.
No. You can say whatever you want. They're.
But Todd, here's something else you don't know. I mean, before we've always had it. It was we always had like a Raider, Catamount, and Bruin.
Yeah.
Guess what, bro? You're outnumbered.
Raider
Rage.
I can
Wait, hold on, Todd. You're even more outnumbered because, guys, you don't see someone behind the camera that is producing and directing us. His name is Brandon Brown. He is a fellow Raider, class of '99.
I know. I feel like I'm getting run out of this place. The amount of Raider in this room is like, it's not good.
But hold up. He's even Brandon's even more famous because I don't even know. Do you remember that game? I think it was 2017, 18. Dalton Southeast, and there was a last-minute goal that hit off post as time expires. Ivan Moore just knocked it in from about 30 yards out, where Axel, your boy Axel on the wrong goal, forgot to clear it, went into the center field, and boom, he nailed it. Where Southeast was on the brink of actually, I think, winning that game, but they ended up, or it was either a tie and they ended up losing.
So we're past the statute of limitations where you can call out individual players for mistakes clearly?
No, there's never going to be called out statute of limitations.
I don't know, man.
But actually, so Diego, we let's get back on track here.
Nonsense.
But we did bring up, so Diego, you were able to attend your first high school scrimmage match. You were able to see Dalton versus Northwest, both boys and girls.
Yes.
Just really quick, before going into analyzation, because we're going to analyze it in the next segment, but what did you think of that being your first game?
Man, I am so glad that was my first real exposure to the high school level soccer, because, my main familiarity with soccer in Dalton is all about Dalton State and the collegiate level NAIA Division I. And so to really sit down and focus and watch a soccer game, even if it was a scrimmage, I was impressed at the level, at the technique, at the heart. My favorite thing to talk about with this town is the heart and the passion of why we are Soccer City. I saw that in a scrimmage, so I can't even wait to see what I'm going to see when the regular season comes in. I loved both games, entertained beyond belief. I had to go to the bathroom during the first half of the women's game.
How many goals did you miss? Because they were
I
pouring
didn't
in.
want to leave. My point is, I stayed wanting to go to the bathroom for the entire girls' game and the guys' game. It wasn't until halftime of the guys' game that I was like, you know what? I can take a breather and go to the bathroom.
And
I was excited.
And like I said, we will be discussing that more in the next segment. But it was, we had some scrimmage games last week. You had not only Dalton versus Northwest boys and girls, we had Dalton Academy playing Cedartown, both boys and girls, on Friday. We had Southeast boys and girls travel down to Johnson on Friday as well.
Everybody was getting their feet wet. Murray
County playing Pickens.
They had games last week. So everybody was trying to get some time in last week because, like we said, games start this week and they start just fast and furious. So, yeah.
Obviously, let's just go. Today, we have a couple games. If this is correct now, keep in mind, this is all based off of Max Prep Sports Plus. That's where we're going to rip all the schedules and put them all in a condensed Excel spreadsheet. Things may change throughout the season.
Yeah.
So don't come at us if we do something wrong. We'll try to have these updated on our Facebook page as well. But this is today, just looking at it, Todd, today, Monday, you have Murray County at Gilmer for both boys and girls, and then if I'm not mistaken, you have Coahulla Creek playing Cass. I have girls, but I don't know if that's boys and girls.
It's boys too. It got updated. It looks like they're supposed to be playing as well.
So you got the updated schedule.
Well, I checked Max Preps, and it looks like the boys have been updated. And I will say, North Murray Heritage, I think that game was listed on Tuesday. I think that's also been moved to today for scheduling reasons. So they're off and running.
But with that, we're going to get ready to go to commercial break. And when we do come back, we're going to have some Diego, because he analyzed the game. We're going to discuss more of the Dalton Northwest game and see what we think the outcome will be for the future. But with that, we're going to go to commercial break, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Why should you choose OptiLink Internet?
I chose OptiLink because of the great local service.
We know computers, and OptiLink knows internet with high-speed symmetrical uploads and downloads.
My customers depend on me for safety and security, and I need fast and dependable internet. That's why I chose OptiLink.
Some people say you can't have fast internet. I say, oh yes you can with OptiLink.
Experience the difference. Call today, 706-529-1313.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? What would it be like? Open up a world of possibilities when you sell your home and make those dreams real. At ColdwellBanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home, compare cost of living city by city, and learn more about our revolutionary seller's assurance program. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams. At ColdwellBanker.com.
Welcome back to Monday Night Football. Man, I'm so excited to discuss the game that we went to, the Northwest versus Dalton boys and girls doubleheader. My first official high school game experience outside of the student games when I went to the Clásicos.
And Todd, you were in my you didn't make it to no games last week.
Heck, Todd.
Hey, I had obligations. I don't know what to tell you.
You know what it is.
But I was getting lit up on the text about that. Like every 5 minutes, I was getting a text from Diego, goal. I'm like, what is going on?
I thought I was spamming y'all at one point. Like, man, maybe they don't want to know.
Well, let's just bring it full circle. So typical history, boys game, the girls game is usually like a 1-0, 2-1, 2. That's usually the scoreline, right, Todd?
Yeah.
What was the scoreline for this game?
That was 6-4.
5-3 at halftime.
Yeah, so it got wild. So this has actually became a preseason game that I look forward to, and I hope they continue.
Sort of figure out where the teams
are. Yes,
and
so I hope they continue to schedule this game, Northwest and Dalton. It's not necessarily predicted the in-season winner of the game, so it's really interesting. And I always like to point this out. You never know what coaches are trying to accomplish with a preseason game. First things first, you just want to get through the thing with no injuries.
Correct.
Anything after that is icing on the cake.
So Diego, you were there for the girls' game. I didn't get there to the second half, but you saw the fireworks. Just give us a little bit of analysis. A good 1-2 minute analysis of what you saw in the girls' game on both sides.
You don't have your notes with you.
No, so it was funny. I brought a notepad.
Notes. He had statistics.
Yes, I wrote down everything, and I forgot my notes at my sister's house because of the Super Bowl party we had yesterday. But other than that, not only was I blown away by the passion, but I actually was so impressed with the technicality and the intelligence, the soccer IQ that the girls displayed. I'll talk about the girls first. So naturally, I'm just used to what I hear around. I expected Dalton to get up on the scoreboard early, but now Dalton dominated early on, and then Northwest opened up the scoring with a goal scored because of a goalkeeper clearance error. Easy goal scored in. I was like, okay, Northwest.
Well, you also got to think about who Dalton lost. They lost a 3-4 year starter and keeper, so they're breaking it into keeper.
So that would make sense why that occurred. But then another thing I liked is a keeper makes a mistake, and it's a true test of their mentality and their confidence. Instantly, keeper just another day at the office. They did not let that affect them. And then right after that, Dalton. Now, I don't know how far I'm allowed to say what I'm about to say.
Oh my.
Dalton getting a penalty call to equalize right after that.
Okay.
But Dalton got the penalty kick, and then Dalton scored again, an absolute banger. This game had bangers outside the box, great dribbles. What I really, really paid attention to, because I was really close to the sideline, was hearing the communication between the players. So it was a very openly communicated game. The defensive line of Northwest specifically was doing such a good job organizing their team. So I don't know if that's something that the coaches talked about, is that communication and defensive structure. Well, it was very clear.
I'll be honest with you. If you watch one of the biggest differences, I think, between the guys' game and the girls' game, if you look, and this paint with broad strokes, I understand, but the girls tend to communicate better, are more vocal on the field than the guys are.
Correct.
So, and as far as Northwest goes, yes, I do know that is like a hallmark of like Northwest. Issa promotes communication, and he's always had a strong back line with vocal leaders back there. So that doesn't surprise me.
Oh, that makes sense.
And it's a good thing that we do, and at the end of this segment, you'll see we were able to procure a couple of interviews. Diego was actually able to get an interview with Coach Almodovar, and actually Coach Almodovar hit on what you said, the talent, the upcoming freshmen that he has. I think he has 13 freshmen on this squad. And then you were able to talk to Eastside. He was able to talk about both boys and girls games and everything. So we weren't able to get an interview at Eastside right after the girls game because he's just pulling double duty, Todd, as you know.
Double duty. You're number two of double. He got time for some nonsense like interviews in between. He's business.
So then Todd, actually from there, then we rode into the boys game, and really quick, we won't go into too much analysis, but what did you think about the boys game? That being your first, as we call it, Clásico Juvenil, because it's the young classic, El Clásico Southeast Dalton, but this is the young Clásico. What did you think about that?
I remember the first note I wrote for the boys game was, wow, the intensity. Within the first few seconds, I mean, you could tell these boys wanted it. They weren't interested in playing slow, playing small. They wanted it. If the girls' game is highlighted by the team and the cohesion, I was very impressed by the way the boys showed that individual brilliance. I mean, off the bat, we started with a through ball attempt, and then the goalkeeping performance. Yeah. I mean, one of the biggest highlights of that game from Northwest, the goalkeeper.
Your boy, Nary Martinez.
What a performance from him. And it was dead even for a lot of the game. Dead even. And then Northwest scored off that corner routine that you said straight off was Dalton's playbook.
One of Dalton's playbooks.
Yeah. Straight off that corner routine, first man, low-driven post, unbelievable. And then once Dalton kind of got the groove going, that's where the individual quality kind of shone. And then from there, Dalton just added on and added on and added on to the scoreboard.
And Todd, what I've noticed this year, you haven't been at a game, but just from this,
you keep pointing that out that I have not been to a game. It's the first week.
Well, but
it was a scrimmage game. It was one night.
What I will tell you about this game is the depth that Dalton has on this year's squad. I mean, they went out and they won 6-2. Like, the first 35 minutes were very competitive. Mm-hmm. But then Dalton's pressure, you know how they are. They lose the ball, they start pressuring. They're bringing back they're bringing back a senior that's been playing with Atlanta United for the last 3 years. They've got Joe Gonzalez, former TDA player. They've got MLS Next ex-player. So this is going to be good. But with that, we're going to go, before we go to commercial break, we do want to highlight with two interviews that Diego was able to get. One with Coach Almodovar of the Lady Catamounts, and then Coach Isaac Gutierrez of the head coach for the boys and the girls for Northwest.
Hey everybody, welcome to Monday Night Football. This is Diego. First ever interview here. What a day we picked to have my first interview here with Coach A. We just finished the scrimmage here for the Northwest and Dalton girls. Coach, it was one of my first games for watching the girls here of Dalton and Northwest. I brought this notepad. Look at it. Let me see the pulse. Woo, look at that.
It's probably close to 180 right now.
6'4", I believe it.
Yeah.
Look at that. I brought a notepad just in case I have any highlights or notes, and I mean 7 pages full. What do you think of what you just saw from the girls?
It's crazy. Again, that just shows you the power that some of these girls have, the girls' teams, the talent. Northwest, like, I can't say enough about them. They always, come to play, and we love playing them, and it's always a physical game. This one turned out to be lots of goals, but it's usually, 1 or 2 goal difference, and it's a great match to have in the first game, but it's also a learning experience for a lot of our girls. I don't know what they look like, but we're deep with 13 freshmen on the team, and lots of sophomores and juniors. So, we're trying to build the team up, and what a way to start it.
What a way. You mentioned all the new faces that are there, all the people that are playing for a couple times. This is your 9th season coaching them, right?
Yes.
Are you seeing that Dalton spirit that you're so used to with these new girls?
Oh, absolutely. I think the talent that we have around town, the development that we've been blessed to have, it's definitely a plus for us. Makes our job a little easier, but we still got to put the intensity in there. We got to get the level of play across the field, and it's a blessing to have. But now we gotta get to work, make that gel come together, and hopefully, go deep in playoffs.
Thank you. I'm definitely excited to see what keeps coming and to watch more games. And so definitely stay tuned for all this good stuff here on Monday Night Football. Thank you, Coach, for the words.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you. Hey, everybody, I'm here with Coach Isa right here. We just finished some good scrimmages here at Harmon Field. Coach, these scrimmages, they're a good chance to see what the players do, to try out some tactics. Can you tell us about some of the things you analyzed in today's scrimmages?
Yeah. Like I said, we're starting with the first game, with the girls' game. I think it's a different back line. And it's a different holding mid, and that's a big part of a team, the staple of a team. And I think we're having different players in different positions. First half, we're all crazy. I mean, scores, crazy. Second half, we start settling in a little bit. Girls are learning, managing it a little bit more. At the same time, they're understanding each other. Same thing with the boys. First 40 minutes, got a good bit of boys returning. So like that first half, it was solid first half, but then the second half is about fitness. Fitness, getting, it's been a long time for a lot of these guys since, probably November, since they played about 80 minutes and 90 minutes. So it's about getting fit.
I appreciate that, Coach. What are some things you might be looking forward to as the season unfolds?
I think, as long as we stay healthy and the fitness improves, I think there's a lot to look forward to. I think with the girls, a different region. And then with the boys, same thing, different region. But, those games before the region are going to be tough games, and we're looking forward to that.
No, I appreciate your time, Coach. Thank you for the words. I'm looking forward to see some more games. So we'll see each other, all right? Thank you.
Yeah.
Here's 2 of the nicest guys in the car business.
Hey, it's Eddie and Greg from North Georgia Toyota.
We're taking a little break from doing commercials, do a little fishing.
Hey, I'm not fishing, I'm catching.
All right, hang in there, don't let it get away.
Don't let your big deal get away at North Georgia Toyota.
Greg, some listeners gonna say, we can't do that. What do we say?
We say, oh yes, we can.
That's only at North Georgia Toyota in Dalton. Come see us. Bring it in.
Why should you choose OptiLink Internet?
When I work from home, I need fast, reliable internet. OptiLink provides that with no hidden fees.
Our customers depend on us for great service and quality.
And that's why we chose OptiLink Internet.
As we serve the needs of our clients, we need reliable internet service. That's why I chose OptiLink as my hometown provider.
Some people say you can't get fast internet. I say, oh yes you can with OptiLink.
Experience the difference. Call today.
And welcome back to Monday Night Football. We were just discussing a little bit of a Dalton Northwest that happened on the scrimmage game this past Thursday. But Todd, I think you were able to have some phone conversations with Coach Cheese, and also I think you had a little bit more insight that you want to discuss about the Dalton before we roll into Cahulla Creek. And
it kind of jarred my memory because you brought it up about the size squad he was carrying. He did mention that he was carrying one of his larger squads that he's had. I think he said he was carrying 26 or 28 players. which, yeah, that's a big squad. But he was talking about, the fact that he's got a lot of individual players that he can see in a specific moment and circumstance. If he needs a guy to come in and the game's getting out of, like, let's say you're up in a game and you need somebody and it's getting a little bit wild and you need somebody to put their foot on the ball and calm it, he's got that guy. If he needs a guy to go in and do some like running and lock a player up defensively, he's got that guy. So he carried a little bit bigger squad for those reasons. And as well as I do, when you start getting late into the season, like sometimes with injuries, it becomes a war of attrition. So, but that reminded me of that. And
you said I brought up Joe Gonzalez.
The non-controversy.
Yeah, so I think I hear some people say the fact that Joe Gonzalez now plays for Dalton State and came from TDA.
Not yet, bro. Not for another few years.
From Dalton Academy. Safe, I'm sure he's available. I don't think he's signed yet, but still.
There you go, Coach.
But they say it like it's a controversial thing, and we know the school system went in, they drew the lines, and he was inside the lines to go to Dalton. So there's no controversy here. He's playing for Dalton this year. He's going to be a tremendous asset, and Coach Cheeves is, that's quite a blessing to have come, land in your lap on an already stacked squad.
To confirm that, like you said, Todd, the Dalton Public Schools did declare lines. It was a soft zone, and he lived in the zone that was designated for Dalton. He could have chosen to keep going to TDA if he wanted, but he would have had to provide his own transportation to TDA. That was the thing. But with him being a Dalton, the bus or whatever, if he's on the bus, picks him up. But
the point is, there's no controversy.
No controversy. All it does is makes this Dalton team they got a lot more pieces to play with. And like I said, if you haven't seen the game, they are playing Creek this week. Then next week they play McIntosh, which we're not even discussing yet.
Nope.
But that'll be discussed next week. But I'm just saying, their first 7 games this year are stacked. But with that, let's roll into Creek. Your side, because that's what you know.
What can you tell me about the Colts?
Once again, it's on my way home. So, let's start with the boys. They're coming off a year where they're a little disappointed because they're just like the other big programs right here. It's like state final or nothing, and if they're not in a state final, then there's work to be done. So they're a little bit disappointed last year. I think they went out in the round of 8.
I think it was 8.
I think they went out in the round of 8, and so they're looking to get back this year. Already dealing with some early season injuries. Cruz Barcenas going out, and I don't know
Cruz?
The truth. I mean, when you get a nickname around here, like you've reached a certain level. Whatever.
You gave it to him.
So anyway,
it counts?
It does count. Of course it does.
White chocolate.
Anyway,
what?
So
it's another story.
You don't know white chocolate? No. Do you even watch the show?
No. White chocolate?
Ever? Go back and watch it.
How many episodes are there?
45, 46.
So I guess my point is like they're missing that piece, and he was a connector, he was a goal scorer, and he may miss the whole season, may miss part of the season, don't know yet. So it's going to need a player like an Omar Mendiola to step up, maybe a Johnny Mendiola to step up in defense. So, but they're
coming. Mendiola kids they got.
I was going to say
as many as it takes.
We got
Jamin Mendiola
at Dalton State. We got a former Colt. I'm very excited to see
as many as it takes
progress.
is the answer.
The Mendiola dynasty.
Right.
So, were you able to talk to Jacobo? How does he feel about the season?
Jacobo, he's laid back. It's whatever happens. His guys are going to be prepared. They're going to be physical. They're going to be in shape. But they're rolling into this week, and it's going to be wild because they got 3 big games. And remember, this is the same guy that scheduled Christian Heritage one night and Southeast the next night. That was 2 years ago.
Yes.
It's called baptism by fire.
Yeah. Yes. So his teams are
and
used to that.
And also, he's got 2 big matchups this week because they're playing Soccer City Cup matches.
2.
So they can either go
Soccer City Cup
2-0. Yeah. 0-2, or they could go 1-1.
No, you go 1-1. That's true.
But here's the interesting about the boys that I want to bring up, and the girls really for that matter, is they're now in 2A, is that correct?
2A.
So with the new GHSA realignment, if they go into the playoff, when they make the playoffs, they're not going to play no private schools because all the private schools have been lumped over. So really, I feel like it puts the target on their back even more because they're not having to deal with these private schools that they've dealt in the past, where now it's like, Color Creek, do we want to get them in the first round? Do we want to get them later in this round? So we'll see what happens. But what about the girls? And the girls have got, Coach Coley's still there.
Yep.
Shannon Coley's still there. But they added a sleeper edition do we want to even bring up that?
Yeah, bring it up.
Asher Griffin, former head coach of the TDA boys, was a state champion at TDA under Ruri Alvarez. And now he's migrated over to the county and supporting that program.
That's right. He's up on
and I know I talked Coley off record when we went hiking up Buzz's Roost for a run up.
So now, like, you're hiking with Coley?
Yeah, it was. Well, he was running. I was hiking.
Yeah, you were.
But we did discuss it. He said Asher's is going to be a great addition just because he's younger.
Now he is a little like he's down a leg. Literally, because he's got he broke his. Remember the snow? Yeah. So
was
now,
it during your hike?
Yeah. So he's Asher's dealing with an injury right now. But yeah, a great addition to that program to further develop the women's game up there. They already had a strong program, so they got the same schedule. They only play one of the Soccer City Cup games this week, not both of them. So they have Southeast later this week, and they did have a preseason game as well, which they won. They won that game it was 2-2 draw, but like we said, the games go to PKs this year. They won on PKs.
Okay.
And so
counts as a win.
that was against Calhoun, right? So it was a good start, no injuries. And I did get an interview with Megan Ramsey of the girls, and I also got an interview with Diego Freire and Johan Reyes.
Okay, so you're going to be able to discuss a little bit more of those. They're going to be able to discuss what the outlook of the season is for them in those interviews. Is that correct?
Yep.
All right, like that, we're getting ready to go to commercial break. But before we do go to commercial break, those interviews that Todd just discussed will be airing, and then we will see you after the flip side from those interviews.
Hey, this is Todd with Monday Night Football. I am here with Megan Ramsey. She is a center back at Cullet Creek, and she is a junior this year. Megan, thanks for taking some time with me to talk. Coming into this year, what's it like being in preseason, coming into your junior year, kind of a leadership role? Just kind of talk about that a little bit.
Well, so far, our team's looking really strong as a whole. I'm excited to see how we are this Friday for our scrimmage at Calhoun. I'm excited to see how we play together, connections, passing, and finishing strong. Everybody's looking really strong this year, and I'm excited to see how we play as a team and just.
And I know last year you guys got knocked out early in the playoffs, but also you guys region's going to be a little bit different this year. I mean, kind of like, how do you feel about a region championship? Is that something you guys are banking on or shooting for?
Yes, sir. That is our goal right now. I feel really good about region this year. I've looked at all the stats for the other teams, and we look like we have a really good chance at coming on top this year.
Yeah, so really interesting. You guys in your region this year, you got Murray and North Murray right across the river there. So I think that'll add some a little bit of extra flair. Are you looking forward to those games?
Yes, sir, I am. It'll be a good competition for us.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you for taking the time with us. Good luck the rest of the season. We'll catch up with you later.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, this is Todd with Monday Night Football out here preseason action. Caught up with Diego, who's a senior here at Cullet Creek, and Johan, who's a sophomore this year. Diego, let's start with you, man. Last year, I know you guys kind of went out in the quarterfinals of state. Has that been motivation for you guys this year?
Yeah, we're looking forward again to going back to the state final and trying to get myself another ring.
Yeah, and Johan, you got some time last year as a sophomore, especially towards the end of the season. You started seeing some more action. How are you using that as motivation and to build off of for this year?
I'm using it as like motivation because just because like maybe like you always have to push yourself on to get like more minutes, and so this year I'm like, not only am I trying to get minutes, I'm trying to like get the stats up so I can help out my team.
And Diego, back to you real quick. Like, you hear a guy like Johan pushing for more minutes as a senior. How do you see your job as being a leader on this team?
I just want the best for my team and looking forward for another state ring.
And Johan, for you, any personal goals this year? I know the team goals obviously pushing for that state championship. Any personal goals for you?
Personal goals, maybe just to get my ring because, I haven't got one yet. And last year, we made it to quarterfinals and it's still pretty good, but we always have to push ourselves to be the best. And so, yes, that would be my personal goal.
Hey, there you heard it, folks. A high standard here. The state championship is the bar. That's the standard that's been set. We appreciate you guys talking to me, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you. Thank you.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would it be like? Open up a world of possibilities when you sell your home and make those dreams real. At ColdwellBanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home, compare cost of living city by city, and learn more about our revolutionary seller's assurance program. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams. At ColdwellBanker.com.
Discover what a strong, locally owned community bank can do for you.
I'm Tyler Hudson of Shankley Training in Dalton, Georgia. We train a huge number of the region's aspiring soccer players. I moved my business and personal banking to Builtwell 2 years ago. It's important for me to work with a community bank where I know them and they know me. Because they make things easy for me, my bank is Builtwell.
Member FDIC.
Welcome back to Monday Night Football. Kind of what we discussed earlier, so many Raiders in the room. And so now let's actually talk about the Southeast Raiders, of course. I know you have a couple of notes about that, Tom. I mean, I wasn't following the games against Johnson, and I was just disappointed to learn about what happened. But,
disappointment is an understatement. Let's just...
understatement.
Well, I mean, he was disappointed in the results.
Yeah, in the result. As a Raider,
But, as we're indoctrinating into this new high school realm of football, Johnson is a powerhouse within that Gainesville. So here's the thing, if you want to know, Dalton is, everyone hears about Dalton because of, Dalton, Southeast, Northwest. Every high school here's won a state title. Gainesville's right up and coming. Gainesville's got Gainesville High, Johnson High, they got West Hall, East Hall, and they're all very dominant programs. And Johnson is the way Dalton was 10, 12 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, see, now that you put that into context.
Yeah, those other schools have won, but Johnson's won 3 in a row?
3, something like that. They won it last year. They put players in the
and believe me, they are the favorite this year to win their classification.
So the result may, like you said, was so the boys lost 3-0, and the girls lost 2-0.
Yep.
They did travel. It was a Friday night. They did travel. From my sources, and I know you were able to get conversations with me with Coach Garcia. And did you talk to Coach Close as well, or just Garcia?
Just Garcia.
Okay. Well, Close is a hard guy. He'd rather the interviews be focused on.
He's hard to get on Sunday.
But let's do. Let's go. I guess before that, let's talk about the girl. What we know Southeast has. Southeast was young last year. They got your girl, the bicycle kick, Maya Camacho.
Yeah.
I think
they'll be looking to her a lot. I think from not only through her ability, but leadership as well. So
yeah, they got Maya. You're going to look at the Fallon. So they're going to Fallon. I don't want to butcher her last name, but they got Gigi out on the right wing. So Southeast was young last year. A lot of bells, a lot of NGSA players. I think this score line is reflective. It's 2-0. I think they're going to have a good season. I think Close. They're just going to play off last year. They didn't lose much talent. Now they did lose the stalwart in the back. I think Hurtado, the defender.
Yep.
She was like the wall of China back there.
Shout out to the Hurtados.
She was a stalwart back there, and but at the same time, I think Southeast usually generates the talent to replace players like that over time. But yeah, I'm like you. I think they're going to have a solid season, but it always comes down to the same thing. In those close games versus Northwest, and those close games versus Dalton, and those close games versus Heritage, are they going to have that edge to get those key wins? And I'm just talking about for overall, because remember, it's not only where you place in region this year, it's how well you play even against teams outside your region. So those are all going to count.
That's tough.
Let's rewind though. Northwest is not in the region anymore.
But they play each other.
But they're in 3A now, so really...
And it's Soccer City Cup.
It is Soccer City Cup, but
you can't dismiss now... What I'm saying is everything
Southeast
counts.
Kryptonite in the past few years, girls' side has been Northwest girls.
That's a different region.
But now Northwest is going down to 3A, Southeast stays in 4A, but guess who's moved down to 4A?
Who?
Dalton.
So that Dalton Southeast matchup is all like that. So
I'm so excited.
And then Heritage is, and the girls team for Heritage is there. They are a solid team. It's always either Region 4A previous years. It's either been Heritage Southeast Northwest, Northwest Southeast Heritage, or they
usually
get
boils
tied
down
and
to
they
the
go
last
reversal. So
last game of the season.
It's going to be a very interesting season in 4A. We'll see what happens there. But really, let's what do you know about the boys, Diego? Let's get
Other than the dyed hair, that was the main thing. You got to dye your hair if you're playing Southeast
playoffs.
soccer.
That was a rite of passage. So, is that considered hazing now?
No, not a chance. Don't start with that. I mean, back in 2011 when I was a student and everything, I mean, we did that for them. But then what I know about the Southeast boys, because the games that I do watch is the Southeast Don Clásico. You have to. Every time I see those boys play, it is nothing but playing with heart, and that is such a thing for me. It is such an easy way to win my heart is when you play with heart. And so I know that I can expect the Southeast boys to, no matter their opponent, they're going to go for it from the 0th minute to the 90th minute. And I think the boys know they have eyes on them at all times through multiple ways. And I think that affects you as a player when you know that you're being watched, whether it be coaching-wise, whether it be talent-wise, whether it be your own peers watching you. I think I'm excited to see what the Southeast boys do.
They did lose 3-0 in an opener on the road to arguably the best school and the favorite to win state at Johnson. So there's no shame in that. They were going in.
Well, I heard the scoreline was closer than really the 3-0.
Right. He said, so Coach Garcia said for the first 20 minutes, it was really a game. And then but he said, both technically and tactically, they were a very, very good team. And he goes, they were a, quote, well-oiled machine. He's like, you can tell these kids play with on the same teams outside of here. And he said, they outplayed us. They were shorthanded. They did not have Joseph Pena, who is still like a little bit of a hamstring injury.
He's out, okay.
Yeah, so and if you remember, he's had some issues with that over the past 2 years. So better just to let him off last week and maybe get him for the rest of the season than lose him in a scrimmage.
They brought someone back that had been out for 2 years.
Yeah,
right?
Go for it.
I mean, they brought out Mr. ACL. I don't know if he's got 4.4 speed anymore, but we were told he had his freshman year. He had 4.4 speed, 4.3. But they bring back Jonathan Hernandez. Oh no! Yes.
If he can return to his previous form, what a boon that will be for that offense and that team to add up there with Joseph Pena feeding him the ball and taking on defenders and then putting it into him. So it's going to be great. Now you guys mentioned it. The goalkeeper, he's got there's a lot of confidence in Brandon Munoz that's going to be stepping in. You guys may remember him filling in last year in the Dalton and El Clasico. Did a great job in there. So Coach Garcia is not worried about it.
Yeah, and I know I spoke with Ricky Lopez. He's an upcoming sophomore. I think he says they should be good. He's they have a big underclassman. The thing is, though, they got, like I said, I'm not saying it's a crutch, but Dalton will be in 4A. So where we've actually had multiple state, now you're going to have two teams knock each other out potentially. So, but like I said, we're going to, looking forward to the season, what they both have, and we'll see what happens here in the end.
I think of us both having such powerhouses.
Yeah. But with that, we're going to go to commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to discuss a little bit more of the remaining teams.
I'm Dr. Michelle Little. And I'm Dr. Kayla Juba with Foundation Direct Family Care. We wanted to start a membership-based primary care practice.
But we're doctors, not business people.
I'm Kylie Roy with Builtwell Bank. I listen to their pitch and help them scale from startup to owning their own building.
Builtwell sees the value of small businesses in the community and supports their ingenuity.
Because every business owner doesn't have an MBA, our bank is Builtwell.
Member FDIC.
Who's up for some football?
That's not football. This is football.
And Eddie, there's one thing that we all can agree on.
That's it. North Georgia is the home for new and pre-owned vehicles.
And don't forget accessories, parts, service, and collision needs.
Claro que sí se puede. Come see us.
Hey, that's our part.
Hey, welcome back to Monday Night Football. Thanks for choosing to hang out with us. Hope we're bringing you some insight here. We're brought on Diego
for
the season. Yeah, either way, listen to us ramble. So we've touched on a few schools. Let's move on. There's numerous ones we haven't hit, and just for time. So let's jump across the river. You want to jump across the river, or you want to go to TDA?
I mean, let's jump across the river real quick and let's just talk about North Murray and Murray.
All right.
We know there's some coaching transitions over there.
Yeah, so have we ever had this many coaching transitions?
We've done the show.
It seems like so many are taking place.
Yeah. I feel like just to this year, I think there are 4, if I'm not mistaken, 4 coaching changes. So first one's in at North Murray, the girls. Coach Alex Tuttle's coming in, and she is originally hails from the Athens area.
Okay.
So you know she comes from good soccer pedigree. Yes. So she's going to be heading up. The girls are taking over for Coach Ambreets. So she'll be doing that, and for me, the important thing is, will there still be good concessions?
I mean, I hope so.
Well, I found out Coach Chambers, the boys coach, his parents are taking over the concessions over at North Murray, so I'm going to be taken care of, I'm told.
What can we expect?
And what we know, and what we know about North Murray, they're going to be Coach Chambers on the boys' side. He's going to have them going. If there's anything, he's a very intense guy. When he's on the coaching sidelines, he's all about his boys being ready to play. They're going to be playing North Murray. They're going to be playing Murray. They're actually going to be in the same region as Coahuila Creek. So that's going to be
it's going to be Murray, North Murray, Creek, Ringgold, Heritage.
Central.
Yeah, just draw that line across in North Georgia there.
So did they have any games last week, Todd? I don't think.
Yeah, they tied Dawson 1-1. The boys did. The girls lost to Dawson, which Dawson is traditionally a state playoff team on the girls' side. But I talked to Coach Chambers. Get this. He gets another exchange student this year. Guess where they're from?
Spain.
Guess what position they play?
Goalie.
Nailed it.
Okay.
So he'll be bringing him in. I was like, well, you got recruiters over there?
Wow,
and then,
Spanish goalkeeper.
Yeah, so he's going to bring in from basketball. It's going to be, I think he said the Cameron twins. He's got 2 twins of his own. So there's 2 twins at North Murray and twins at Murray.
No way.
So that's going to make for another year of a special Fort Mountain Cup. And then on the girls' side, let's see, they're going to be Perla Constaneda is one of their seniors. Be counting on her a lot on the wing out there. And it's just going to be a big learning season, for Coach Tuttle and seeing what she's got. But we know that Coach Ambrett's left her in good shape. So
what about the Murray County? I mean, Murray County, I know they were working on getting their facilities upgraded, so I think that is coming around.
It is. And one of the fields has opened.
Thank you to Billy Napier for providing.
Oh, is that who it is?
I mean, I guess so. He's got that Florida Gators money.
I don't know if that's where the money comes from or not, but they do. They are practicing on their own field now, so that's improving. There's going to be another field coming online later in the spring, so things are improving over there in terms of facilities. The players that they got coming in, they won their scrimmage against Pickens 3-0 on the boys' side, which it's great to be putting the ball in the back of the net this early in the season, which, to be fair, and once again, that's we got a coaching change there at Murray too. That's going to be, I have to bear with me, Coach Fred Gould is over
Fred
there.
Gould.
Yes.
Gould from late 90s, 2000s, Fred Gould.
You tell me.
He was a stud back in the day.
Well,
one of the Goulds, I don't know if it's him or if it's his brother, but there was a Gould that was basically was all like he could have played at Dalton Southeast in this era, no problem.
Well, this Coach Gould, he's focusing just really they're playing a tournament like in a couple of weeks. They're going to be down in Atlanta playing against all 5 and 6A schools.
Wow,
which I don't in recent memory I don't ever remember Murray like being that ambitious.
I don't think
it
so.
almost feels like a little bit of a new era at Murray County. They've always had a fit squad, but also a tenacious squad. Yes. And so I think he's trying to add a little bit of finesse over there. And obviously they come in with their shooting boots on. The twins are back, Jacob and Seth. Both of them have committed to Truett McConnell. Okay. So they don't have to worry about recruiting or anything this year. They can play. School's taken care of. And then on the girls' side, it's going to be Coach Shara Troutner. She's taken over. She's a first-time coach. She's got a wonderful assistant in Mary Trejo, who has North Murray roots, but she's the assistant coach there. And so they're
back-to-back defending Fort Mountain Cup champions.
They are. I reminded her, like, you guys are holders. And she said that they did lose their game, but she said the girls called her first thing after the game and said, we want an extra practice. So where were they? Wow. Sunday evening when everybody was watching the Super Bowl?
Where?
They were practicing. So
Did you say Mary Trejo?
Yes.
If it's the same Mary Trejo I'm thinking of, that's no surprise, because if I could describe one word to use her, it'd be she has the tenacity, and she has the drive to improve. And I'm so excited that you told me that was Mary.
Well, then it's reflective on this squad then, because they called the coach and they're like, we want to practice because we weren't happy with the performance.
Wow, you got to give hands to that kind of attitude.
So there's my summary of the other side of the river.
And let's roll in really quick. Christian Harris. I mean, there's a lot we don't really know much about. I know Coach Boyd retired last year. Is she coming back as an assistant, or what's going on there? And John Bolger, is she still going to be heading up the girls?
Yes.
Todd, what do you got?
So I'm hearing John Bolger. I was unable to get in touch with him, but he is going to be coaching the girls' side again. So I'm sure, as usual, they're going to be waiting on some players to they sometimes delay the start of their season because they're waiting on players to come from basketball because it's such a small school. Coach Bolger will be heading
they're
up
a little
girls.
bit not an enigma. Just I don't like the word enigma, but we just don't really know because they didn't play. And then TDA, that is the other unknown.
Is it?
I mean,
I feel like I know.
I think the only thing we've said about TDA is they lost this, they lost this.
Well, but TDA is like the thing about TDA. They're scrappy. They got Elizabeth Lahr stepping in to be the head coach. Asher left, so I think they're going to be good. They lost some players, but the thing about TDA, if you've ever been in a game, they just go 90 miles an hour the whole game.
This week, later on, North Murray, TDA, Coach Lahr versus Coach Chambers at North Murray. That's she was the assistant coach under him just a couple of years ago.
Wow. Oh, that is right.
All worlds. Add a sprinkle of drama into the game.
And what about the girls? Do we know anything about the girls?
The girls' side is going to be coached by, it's a joint effort between Coach Swantick and Coach Price. And I'll be able to bring you some more on those next week.
Right. Cannot wait.
With that, we're going to go to a commercial break, and we'll come back to our final segment.
Why should you choose OptiLink Internet?
I chose OptiLink because of the great local service.
We know computers, and OptiLink knows internet with high-speed symmetrical uploads and downloads.
My customers depend on me for safety and security, and I need fast and dependable internet. That's why I chose OptiLink.
Some people say you can't have fast internet. I say, oh yes you can with OptiLink.
Experience the difference. Call today, 706-529-1313.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would it be like? Open up a world of possibilities when you sell your home and make those dreams real. At ColdwellBanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home, compare cost of living city by city, and learn more about our revolutionary seller's assurance program. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams. At ColdwellBanker.com.
Welcome back to Monday Night Football. We've talked about what happened. Now let's talk about what will happen. Let's go ahead and talk about the OptiLink schedule coming up. And so I'll start us off with the games happening right now tonight. Murray County.
We are talking.
As we were talking, they're probably getting more. Oh yeah, they're already playing. Murray County at Gilmer for the girls, as well as Cahola Creek versus Cass at 5:30. That started 14 minutes ago. And then tonight, Murray County versus Gilmer boys at 7 o'clock. And tonight as well, the Creek Boys versus Cass. I'm sorry if I butchered that. Creek Boys versus Cass. Whose handwriting is that?
I don't know.
Whose handwriting is that?
And what do we got going on tomorrow?
Tomorrow's going to be a juicy day. Tomorrow at 5 o'clock, we got 3 different games with 5 o'clock kickoff. We got North Murray versus Heritage Girls. We got TDA, Dalton Academy versus Pepperell. I hope I'm saying that right.
Nailed
girls.
it.
And Northwest versus Dade County Girls. And then interestingly, at 5:30, we got Cahola Creek at Central for the girls. At 6:30, we got the Southeast Raiders versus Trinity Christian Girls. And then 3 more games at 7 o'clock, North Murray versus Heritage Boys, TDA once again versus Pepperell Boys, and we got Christian Heritage versus Mount Perrin Christian, the boys. And I forgot to add one more game in there, another handwritten game on the notes.
Hey, this one's special though.
Oh, very special. At 5 o'clock, Dalton versus Creek Boys, and that's at Creek?
That's at Creek.
At Creek right there.
And that is Soccer City Cup.
Soccer City Cup, and that's why it's highlighted in yellow right there, handwritten. So that's what we can expect today.
What do we got later on in the week?
All right, later on in the week, coming up Thursday, that's the 13th, Murray County hosts Heritage, Southeast hosts Cahola Creek. Once again, Soccer City Cup match for the girls. Northwest versus Pace Academy, Dalton Academy versus North Murray, Northwest versus Pace. Southeast hosts Cahola Creek, that's on the boys' side, and then Murray County hosting Heritage on the boys' side as well. And then on Friday, we have Dalton versus Calhoun at the girls, Dalton versus Calhoun boys, and then Murray County versus Johns Creek. And I think that starts the tournament for Murray County. Yeah,
when it wasn't a typo. When I saw Johns Creek, I thought it was a typo when I did this. So, I mean, it's good. But look, you got Southeast Coahulla Creek, you got Dalton Coahulla Creek, you got Dalton versus Calhoun.
Then you got Dalton versus Calhoun. There's some good games this week. I mean, first thing you got to do is you got to highlight the Soccer City Cup games, right? So that's Tuesday. That's Tuesday. You got Dalton versus Creek boys. And then, I mean, to get that game early season just seems wrong. And then Southeast versus Coahulla Creek on Thursday, boys and girls. And then another little juicy tidbit right down there is the Dalton-Calhoun game.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's not as juicy. I mean, last year Dalton lost a cast, but Calhoun's trying to bring up their game.
That's right. Calhoun's on the come up.
So
I'm glad that's coming because I don't have nothing to do for Valentine's Day, and now I do.
I know what I'm hearing. Somebody's available.
Bonus points if you like soccer. Bonus points because I'll be at the soccer game. So hit me up at the soccer games, and I will get you a hot dog.
But look forward. But like I said, we're looking forward to you guys coming out watching games. Todd and I going out of the games, watching games. Diego, he is an analytical, and I mean it is in a good way. Nerd. He likes to.
I love the analysis, the stats. If I was the nerd who set my formations and my mentality tactics, I love all that good stuff.
But like I said, we're looking forward to bringing another season. Thanks to Matt Gass Center for hosting us. Thanks to Elliott Media for bringing this back. Thanks to our sponsors, OptiLink Scoreboard and everything. But we look forward to you guys enjoying this season, and we'll see you till the next episode.
Hey, say hey when you see us.
Yes.
That would be awesome.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would it be like? Open up a world of possibilities when you sell your home and make those dreams real. At coldwellbanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home, compare cost of living city by city, and learn more about our revolutionary seller's assurance program. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams. At coldwellbanker.com.
Why should you choose OptiLink Internet?
When I work from home, I need fast, reliable internet. OptiLink provides that with no hidden fees.
Our customers depend on us for great service and quality.
And that's why we chose OptiLink Internet.
As we serve the needs of our clients, we need reliable internet service. That's why I chose OptiLink as my hometown provider.
Some people say you can't get fast internet. I say, oh yes you can with OptiLink.
Experience the difference. Call today.
Discover what a strong, locally owned community bank can do for you.
I'm Tyler Hudson of Shankley Training in Dalton, Georgia. We train a huge number of the region's aspiring soccer players. I moved my business and personal banking to Builtwell 2 years ago. It's important for me to work with a community bank where I know them and they know me. Because they make things easy for me, my bank is Builtwell.
Member FDIC.
Here's two of the nicest guys in the car business.
Hey, it's Eddie and Greg from North Georgia Toyota.
We're taking a little break from doing commercials, do a little fishing.
Hey, I'm not fishing, I'm catching.
All right, hang in there, don't let it get away.
Don't let your big deal get away at North Georgia Toyota.
Greg, some of us gonna say, we can't do that. What do we say?
We say, oh yes, we can.
That's only at North Georgia Toyota in Dalton. Come see us. Bring it in.
To advertise your business on TV, contact Elliott Media at 706-529-4237.